Today, I want to talk to you about a powerful force that has the ability to transform lives, heal wounds, and bring people together. That force is compassion. Compassion is the act of understanding and empathizing with the suffering of others, and then taking action to help alleviate that suffering. It is a fundamental human quality that resides within each and every one of us, waiting to be awakened and cultivated. In a world that can often be harsh, unforgiving, and divided, compassion is the bridge that can connect us all. It is the recognition that despite our differences, we all share the same basic desires: to be happy, to be loved, and to be free from suffering. When we approach others with compassion, we create a ripple effect of kindness and understanding that can spread far and wide. We inspire others to act with compassion in their own lives, and we help to build a world that is more loving, more connected, and more humane. But compassion is not always easy. It requires us to step outside of our own ego and self-interest and to put ourselves in the shoes of another. It requires us to be vulnerable, to listen deeply, and to act with courage and conviction. However, the rewards of compassion are immeasurable. When we show compassion to others, we not only help to ease their suffering, but we also find a sense of purpose and fulfillment in our own lives. We discover that by giving to others, we also receive in abundance. So, my friends, I urge you to cultivate compassion in your own lives. Start small, with simple acts of kindness and generosity towards those around you. Listen to others with an open heart and an open mind. Seek to understand rather than to judge. And when you see suffering, do not turn away, but instead, ask yourself how you can help. Remember, compassion is not a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of great strength. It takes courage to open our hearts to others, to bear witness to their pain, and to take action to make a difference. But when we do, we tap into the very best of what it means to be human. We become agents of change, healers of wounds, and beacons of hope in a world that so desperately needs more light. So let us go forth from here today with compassion in our hearts and a commitment to making a positive difference in the lives of others. Let us be the change we wish to see in the world, and let us never underestimate the power of a single act of kindness and compassion. In a world that can often feel divided and disconnected, compassion is the force that can bring us together. It is the recognition that we are all part of the same human family, and that our suffering and our joy are intimately connected. When we cultivate compassion in our own lives, we not only help to alleviate the suffering of others, but we also find a deeper sense of connection and purpose in our own lives. We discover that by opening our hearts to others, we also open ourselves up to greater love, joy, and fulfillment. But compassion is not something that we can simply wish for or hope for. It is a skill that requires practice and cultivation. It requires us to be mindful of our own thoughts and actions, and to choose love and understanding over fear and judgment. One way to cultivate compassion is through the practice of loving kindness meditation. This involves silently repeating phrases of goodwill and compassion towards ourselves and others, such as, "May all beings be happy and free from suffering." By regularly practicing this type of meditation, we can train our minds to default to compassion and kindness in our daily lives. Another way to cultivate compassion is through acts of service and generosity. By volunteering our time and resources to help others in need, we not only make a positive difference in their lives, but we also develop a greater sense of empathy and understanding. We learn to see the world through the eyes of others and to respond with compassion and care. Ultimately, the practice of compassion is not just about helping others, but about transforming ourselves. It is about recognizing our own inherent goodness and the goodness in others, and choosing to act from a place of love and understanding. So, my friends, I invite you to join me in making compassion a daily practice in your own lives. Start small, with simple acts of kindness and generosity towards those around you. Challenge yourself to listen more deeply, to judge less quickly, and to respond with compassion and care. And as you do, know that you are not only making a positive difference in the lives of others, but you are also creating a more compassionate and connected world for us all. Together, let us build a world that is rooted in compassion, where every person is treated with dignity and respect, and where we all have the opportunity to thrive and reach our full potential. As we move forward on this path of compassion, it is important to remember that it is not always easy. There will be times when we are faced with challenges and obstacles, when we are tested by difficult people or situations, and when we may feel like giving up. But it is precisely in these moments that our commitment to compassion is most needed. It is in these moments that we have the opportunity to choose love over fear, understanding over judgment, and compassion over indifference. And as we do, we will begin to see the world in a new light. We will begin to see the inherent goodness and beauty in all people, even those who may seem different from us or who may have caused us harm. We will begin to see the interconnectedness of all things and the ways in which our actions and choices impact the world around us. This is the power of compassion, to transform not only our own lives, but the lives of those around us, and ultimately, the world as a whole. So let us commit ourselves to this path of compassion, not just for today, but for every day of our lives. Let us be the change we wish to see in the world, and let us never underestimate the impact that one person can have when they choose to live with an open heart and a compassionate spirit. Remember, compassion is not a destination, but a journey. It is a daily practice that requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to keep showing up, even when it is difficult. But the rewards of this journey are immeasurable. By cultivating compassion in our own lives, we not only create a better world for ourselves, but for all beings. We become a force for good in the world, a light in the darkness, and a beacon of hope for all who are suffering. So let us go forth from here today with compassion in our hearts and a commitment to making a positive difference in the world. Let us be the healers, the peacemakers, and the agents of change that our world so desperately needs. And let us never forget the words of the great spiritual teacher Thich Nhat Hanh, who said, "Compassion is a verb. It is not something that we simply feel, but something that we do, each and every day, in the choices we make and the actions we take." Thank you, my friends, for being here today and for being part of this great journey of compassion. Together, let us create a world that is more loving, more connected, and more compassionate for all.